Hey, October 18th. As long as I'm wearing this, it's October 18th, 2025. Remember, time's fluid. Whenever I pop up on your timeline, it's because you're meant to see this video. Your spirit team has a message for you. So, to piggyback off of the other video, so I'm not thinking anything of it like that they were messing around or whatever, you know? But now, let's just fast forward. So I gave the little, little background of Kins and Chantel. Now, let's bring you up to speed. So that was 9 years ago. I was 23. We have two kids now. I'm 32 now. Um, I'm, you know, I'm in the Truman Show 2.0, Queen Isis edition. Yes, reincarnation is real. And I'm being gang stalked by my karmic familiar unit, the Smalls, Williams, and Perkins of Massachusetts. My karmic baby daddy, Kins Descayette, fuck it, and also Chantel Widener. Again, I am able to mention their names because my house is illegally, I never gave any consent, illegally wiretapped and surveillance. The post office has been withholding my mail. The government, the police, and everything know all about it. My life is literally being broadcast on the dark web in in multiple countries. My landlords, Akeem and Ahmad, are in on it as well. They have associations to Carol Small, David Small, because they're in the banking industry. They're landlords, and elbows be rubbing elbows. But this is a situation of people using religion as a crutch and making it seem like people who are spiritual, people who broke out the matrix, people who just are aware to the shit, are being demonized and being gang stalked and being harassed at school with these organizations, with these hospitals, doctors, landlords, the post office, just those who get it, and those who don't. I hope that God uses my vessel to portray my thoughts correctly so you guys are aware, because magic is literally everywhere. When we blow out our candles, that's magic. When we see these ads up in our face to buy stuff, that's magic. Suggestive purchasing, suggestive buying, however, it's spun. But I say that to say, so I didn't know that my karmic baby daddy Kins signed a deal with the devil. Now, when my grandfather, John Horace Small Sr., passed away, February 16th, 2019, I did not know that I was a part of a will. Now, my grandfather and I, we did have a good relationship. For the relationship that we did have, we've had some deep conversations, so although I wasn't always around every single weekend, every holiday, because Carol, the notary public and the constable, she abused, you know, her title, her position in the family as the aunt, the well-respected, the well-loved aunt. But she's a demon, and she used her badge, her title, her position for the bad. Now, as far as Kins and Chantel, so Kins and Chantel, they knew each other beforehand. Um, Chantel knows of my family. She's still associated with them. Now, Chantel is a nurse, where I'm not too sure, but they were going around falsifying documents saying that I had, STDs and stuff like that. Also, there's a court hearing going on um, pertaining to the will and my inheritance and stuff that my grandfather left me. But because they blacklisted me, I'm the black sheep, I'm the scapegoat, but I'm the goat. I'm the goat. Um, you just know how that goes. They reach out to these organizations, and they just put a bad stigma on your name. Carol went around, saying that I was, messing around with people, and so was Chantel and stuff like that. And I'm sitting here like, I'm in the house 24/7, and you guys know that because you guys have me on some like conservatorship, like Britney Spears, Amanda Bynes, and all that, like the Wendy Williams effect and all that. All that is real. When it comes to money, money's not evil. But people who are greedy for money and just want power fortune, fame, whatever type of fame that is, they're the ones who make people like you and I look at money like, ugh, I don't even want it. I don't even want money. I mean, I do want money, but when you look at people like that and the way how they're greasing palms, rubbing elbows and stuff like that, shaking hands, signing deals under the tables, backdooring people, it's like, if that's how you got to get your money, I don't want any part of it or whatever. So as far as Kins goes, so Kins was my handler because he was the only one closest to me, because I've been cut the Smalls, the Williams, the Perkins, Chantel, um, anybody from my past. I cut them out because they were toxic, low vibrational. I don't want to deal with that, and I have every right to protect myself. And then I have children. You're not going to corrupt my children the way you guys try to corrupt me. So Chantel goes for nursing and stuff like that. She gets nursing, so now that's connections into the healthcare system. Um, I have a karmic cousin named Sade, who she ended up moving to Taunton, Massachusetts, where I was in a shelter, and the shelter has a part to do with it too. And she decided she wanted to go for the police force, but while she was there, within her probationary period, I'm not too sure of the specifics, but she wasn't officially on the on the force. Thank you. On the force, she looked up information on me trying to find out where I lived. Big no, lost that job. Now, when it comes to Carol, because she's a notary public and a constable, and she's been it for about 25 to 30 years, you know, she's she's rubbed elbows with people. She's made allies and stuff like that. But everybody forgets that there's the fine print when it comes to the devil. And again, the second floor, Victor Morales and his wife Shamika. I don't know if that's her name because it doesn't matter, but they're from Canada. And there was a video that was sitting there saying somebody's hiding out because they're under a false identity. They're here in America illegally. So that's probably her. She's not on the mailbox. She's not even on the lease. But again, everybody else knew what was going on except for me. But now I know. And I seen certain things before, but it didn't. So I thought it didn't affect me. So I didn't care to speak on it. But now that I know, it has a great effect on me. But F me, my children have been sexually harassed. Kins de Cayette sexually molested his daughter. He's a pedophile. And all of you guys think that that shit is cool. That's disgusting. Carol, you're a foster mother. You were taking foster children and bringing them to be abused for rituals for your ex-husband and you, Dana H. of the Freemasons in Boston, Prince Hall, and Keith and your friend, oh, y'all are going down too. We're bringing them for rituals. Now, I myself, when I was younger, now, Carol's probably a part of the Eastern Star more than likely. Ida was a part of it, but you have Morning Baptist Star Church in Boston on Blue Hill Ave, that there's a lot of sinister things that go on there. So you have the Eastern Stars and you have the Masons of Boston, Massachusetts, that the demonic side of it is being exposed. So now who's going to want to be at the church? Who's going to want to join these organizations now that they see the sinister side, the devil side, not the godly side, but the devil side? It makes people think about religion. It really makes you think. And I'm not going to stop doing these videos. I'm not going to expose them because they have the second floor doing all this shit right now. That's what happens when you sign on with the devil. He comes and collects. He comes and collects. Every single day, Shamika is doing magic. Every single day, every moon cycle, Victor Morales is going to the graveyard and playing in the graveyard dirt. People are putting my photos on altars. People are sitting there putting death spells on my children. My children are under the age of 10. My children have been exploited on the dark web. We have no privacy in our bathroom, no privacy in our household. So when I'm coming out naked, they're in the bathtub naked, we're pooping, we're peeing. It's all being exploited online. the hands of Carol Small, Kinsday Kayet, Ahmad and Akeem, the landlords, who are associated with Gym Management Property too, because let's talk about it. Akeem and the maintenance allowed and gave access, gave keys to my unit to Victor Morales and his family. And anybody who is associated to Akeem and Ahmad, because they do have, um, you know, their credentials in all of the states or whatever. So if anybody is associated with them, and Ahmad, who went to Holy Cross College in Boston, Massachusetts, I would sit there and check your households and stuff like that. Get one of those, finders, the detectives, and see if you guys have any hidden surveillance and stuff, because I'm sure if I'm not the first and I wasn't the last, I'm just fortunately the only one who's able to speak up and speak out and put names to it. And you guys can too. But when I say they fucked up royally, they fucked up royally. This is ancient Egyptian blood. This is such a high level spiritual battle that I didn't even understand it. That's why I've been like sitting here watching these videos, and my nose just itched, because they were also trying to go around saying that I was on drugs. Now, I only smoked a little bit of weed before, but I stopped. I went cold turkey, and I thank the Lord for that, because it just became a habit. Like, I've been saying it for the last few years. Like, I'm not feeling this. Like, I'm not even, to my smokers who used to smoke, or maybe you stopped smoking and then you went back to smoking, but whatever, to my smokers, you ever feel like I'm not getting high, no matter what strand, it's not doing anything for you, it's like I'm just sitting here, I'm just rolling up out of habit. It's a habit. And I kept saying that to him. But you got to watch out what you say to the enemy, because the enemy, 1212 on the timer, is going to use it to their advantage. So when I'm sitting there saying I want to stop smoking weed and this and that, here's Kins, here's some weed, here's some weed, here's some weed. I'm not a drinker, 1224 on the timer. I'm not a drinker, because the Smalls, Perkins, and Williams side, you can only be around them for like 20 minutes. I used to say 2 hours, like 20, 30 minutes before the alcohol kicks in. And if Ida's not around, if Ida's around, you're safe. But once Ida leaves, nobody's safe, So, Ken signed a deal with the devil. My grandfather passed away. I did not know I was in his will, but my grandfather did let me know years before that he put himself, John Horace Small Sr., and Derek Small, his son, the baby of the bunch. He put him on the paperwork or whatever, because he didn't rock with Derek's wife, Kalila, from Ohio. And one thing that my grandfather, 13 on the time, one thing my grandfather always promised me was jewelry. He would give me jewelry, but he ended up giving it to Kara, who Kara lost it. So what I gather from that is he couldn't pay me in gold, so he gave me a will, an inheritance, the house, all that. But Carol, being a notary public and a constable and having connections to anybody, you guys know how that goes. And then when you're with the Freemasons and you're an Eastern Star, you know how that goes. You got connections, You rub my back, I rub your back. We make this disappear. We make him or her disappear. And that's what they were trying to do, because they had Kins poison me a couple of times. Even these restaurants, Market Basket, trying to poison me. So one thing, never call and order your food ahead. Just go there and order and sit and wait. Okay? If you feel like you're being gang stalked. It's going to be the people closest to you. And I feel bad. I feel so bad for the tarot readers who, because my phone is being tapped, I'm not able to protect them in the sense, because now they've been gang stalked because they broke out the matrix, but now there's an added layer of being gang stalked because my phone is tapped, and then they're seeing who's who. Oh, there's all these woke people, so they're trying to deter and switch the narrative. And Satan wants to win this battle, but God's always going to get the glory, and he's going to win everything. So it's 14:52. I only got 15 on the timer. I'm going to come back and give some more information.